Radhe Radhe and humble pranams and namaskarams to our beloved brothers and sisters of our God Satsang. Let me start with a plain fact which is known to you and me, which is self-evident, so that we understand what we are trying to do and how we are celebrating life with Sri Madhura Geetam. Our well-being here and thereafter, spiritually and also in this world, on a very broad sense, is directly linked to our Guru's grace. That's a known fact, right? And our spiritual growth, all the more, is clearly by Guru's grace. And a grace of a Guru is not an act. When a Guru who is within and who is all around, Guru Tattva is prevalent everywhere. He is also the indweller in my heart and your heart. Every thought we have, every breath we take is by the grace of this Guru who is right inside us as our Antaryami. And Guru is also all prevalent, which is very clearly evident from our 11th canto, Guru Tattva. The 24 Gurus means Guru is everywhere, and of course our greatest bhagyam is he has also taken a lovely form, he has taken a lovely name, and he has taken a lovely voice, and he has also blessed us with sweet songs. That's our special bhagyam. So our spiritual elevation or our spiritual growth is clearly as a result of the grace of our Guru. And grace of a Guru is not an act, right? It flows all the time. When we do things which pleases a Guru, the grace is being opened out to us, or we open ourselves to the grace. Grace is like the rain, and we are like vessels. If the vessels is kept upside down, obviously even if it pours down cats and dogs, not even a drop can be collected by the vessel, right? So when we do things which are pleasing to a Guru, prayachati Guru Prito Vaikuntam Yogi Durlabham. So when we do things which pleases our Guru, the grace is received by us because we open out to the grace, right? And what pleases a Guru the most? Of course, obedience, and we do what he wants us to do. And more than anything else, that Guru within us is pleased when we really enjoy his lovely offerings in form of outpourings, in form of his works, his songs, etc. is relished by us. It's very simple, right? And that's what we are trying to do. And we don't have to do any other sadhana apart from, if you call this a sadhana, relishing the words of our Guru is the highest sadhana for any aspiring disciple. And when we are in the series of Madhuram Aho Madhuram, relishing the works and the songs of our Guru Maharaj, there cannot be a greater spiritual practice. If you ask me, my personal opinion, I don't want to actually thrust it upon you. Greater than self-inquiry, greater than meditation, greater than all other yoga is the yoga of relishing our own beloved Guru Maharaj, sent by Bhagavan as a choicest gift to each of us. And we are together as a family relishing Madhura Geetam, Sri Madhura Geetam. What else can be a greater purpose of life than this, you see? And that's what we are trying to do. And that's why we are taking it slow. We are not here to pass an exam. We are not here to understand Madhura Geetam. We are here to experience it, right? And that's the reason why we are going deep and slowly, hesitantly into all this lovely offerings of love, which has been showered upon us by our father, by our mother, by our Guru, who is our beloved Guru Maharaj, our Sri Guruji. And his Madhura Geetams are our breath. His Madhura Geetams are our prana. And we'll continue with this lovely song, which is outpouring of Shanta Rasa in the heart of our Guru Maharaj, very beautifully punctuated by an important bhava of I am very humble, Naichanusandanam, treating ourselves as a blade of grass. And we saw the first line, which is called Pallavi, and the second line, which is Anupallavi. Now we are going to look at the Charanam. And let us start by bowing down to our beloved Guru. Let me quickly bring in the dhyana of our Guru through our dhyana shloka of our Guru Maharaj. Kalage sundarakaram sadaika priyadarshanam ajnananashakam devam sadgurum muralidharam murali-mandita karakamalam munijana mohanam vyatyasta padam vanamala dharinam prema bhakta mandala nitya kirtitam premika varadam ashrayeham. The charanam goes like this. It celebrates the ocean of compassion which is Bhagavan Sri Krishna.
கருணையின் நீதியே கார்முகில் வண்ணா அருமையின் அருமையான அன்பின் உயிரே ஒருமையில் உணரும் உன்னத பொருளே முரளிதரன் உள்ளத்தில் உறையும் நன்முத்தே என்னையும் பொறுத்தனையோ என்னையும் சகித்தனையோ என்னையும் மதித்தனையோ என்னையும் நினைத்தனையோ.
That he says, you are the repository of compassion, and you have taken a lovely form of a dark cloud, Karmugil Vanna, and you are also the rarest of the rare, something which is very difficult to come by, something which is very difficult to even being heard upon. Bhagavan has very beautifully given the commentary of Arumayin Arumayana in Bhagavad Gita. Guru na Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidenam Ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanyaha Ascharyavat chainam anyashrunoti Shrutvapi enam vedana chaiva kaschit. Some people talk about in wonder, Ascharyavat. They look at this wonderful concept called Atma Swarupam, Antaryami, Bhagavan who is right inside my heart. Some people, Ascharyavat vadati, they talk with wonder about all these things. And some people with tremendous wonder says, oh, is this something called consciousness which is Antaryami in our heart? And they listen about all this, Antaryami, Krishna, the consciousness within. And even then, only rarest of the rare can even understand, experience and have the realization of this which is Krishna, which is shining in hearts of you and me. And that's what Swamiji is saying, Arumayin Arumai, where Krishna himself says, it is rare to even see it or hear about it or talk about it. Even if people, do all these things, intellectually understand also, how many of them will realize Arumayin Arumai? Even if they realize, can they realize that as Krishna? Sagunam Krishna, very rare. And only Shanta Bhaktas have the privilege, they have the blessings, the fortune of realizing Bhagavan as their Antaryami. So here the first line is Sagunam, Gunam and Rupam, Nama Rupam na, that he has this wonderful guna, the greatest of all qualities of Bhagavan, apart from his all-knowing, omniscience, omnipotency, present everywhere, omnipresence, all that omni, let it be there. But there is one quality of Bhagavan which stands out, which makes all the other quality to shine. That quality is Sarva Sharanyatvam. That quality is being tremendously compassionate and offering refuge to those who surrender. And that all Mahatmas speak out as the greatest gunam. So Sagunam, which means Bhagavan, who is filled with all wonderful, lovely, divine qualities and characteristics. Of all the qualities, the greatest quality is Karunyam. So Swamiji has picked that when you say Sa Gunam, one endowed with qualities, which is what truth is. Truth is both in the same token endowed with qualities along with its intrinsic self, which is devoid of all qualities. It is an and, it is togetherness, it is Visishtam, which is always endowed with qualities. That truth called consciousness is eternally endowed with qualities. It is eternally endowed with a lovely form. The form may appear or disappear depending on the devotion of the subject, which is me. If I have devotion, Bhagavan out of his tremendous kripa, even though he is beyond names and forms, takes and shows or reveals himself in the heart of his eternal form of Krishna, which is Karmugil Varna. So the name and form is a repository and an ocean of grace, and also he is a wonderful form. Loveliness of all roundness, Sundarata Taram, you see, Sundarataram. And that is Bhagavan. Next line, Arumayin Arumayana, Ascharyavat Pashyati Kaschidenam. the rarest of the rare. Very few people can even understand Krishna as their indweller. They may speak, they may hear, they may even see, as intellectually see things. But even then, Yenam Vedana Chaiva Kaschit. Very one in a million, like our Guru Maharaj, can actually realize that Krishna in the heart, as Krishna. As the one endowed with both Saguna and Nirguna as two sides of the same coin, which is going to explain in a different Madhura Geetam. We will talk about it when we talk about Vedanta of our Sri Madhura Geetam. So here the first line, Karudnayinidhiye Karmugil Varna, is Sagunam. Arumayil arumayana anbin uyire. That's Nirgunam. Both are Krishna. Krishna is Satya Swarupa. Krishna is also Kala Mega Rupa. Rupam and Swarupam are no different when it comes to Krishna. When it comes to the world, this form, this name called leaf, and the form of leaf, transient, in Pralaya gone. But the name of Krishna, form of Krishna, never perishes. It is eternal. It manifests or it unmanifests. It shows itself or it may not show itself, but it's eternal. That's the secret of Bhagavata Dharma. Even learned Pandits fail to understand or imbibe or relish this simple truth, which only Mahatmas in Bhagavata Dharma understand. So here, that Krishna, who has the lovely form of a dark cloud and who also has this tremendous beautiful quality of compassion. Krishna knows not to punish, he knows only compassion. That's why our Swamiji says these are people who apparently were punished. He physically punished his Shishupala, verbally punished and chastised his Jabali. And of course, as a lifestyle, Ajamila faced a lot of difficulties and Kshatrabandhu faced a lot of difficulties. None were punishments. They were all manifestations of this wonderful Kripa of Bhagavan. You see this? That's the heart of the truth. That's the heart of a Sat Guru. And that's the beauty and heart of our Sri Madhura Geetam. And then Swamiji uses a lovely term, Anbin Uire. He is the actual prana. He is the life of love. Love gets its life from consciousness. Our Karmugil Vanna started sending down rains now, so I'll make it very brief. Okay, this Anbu means Priyam. In our Upanishad, it is said that which is the final truth has, truth means Krishna. Krishna has his head made of Priyam or Prema. So Krishna is made of Prema. And what is the soul of this form of Krishna made of Prema? Like we say, these are made of chlorophyll and it is made of some tissues and all that. So apart from the tissues, leaf does not exist. It is a bunch of or a condensation of tissues, isn't it, together. Likewise, imagine Prema as the material and you make a lovely form out of Prema, that's Krishna. And what is the prana? What is the Atma? What is the Swarupa of this Prema Krishna? Consciousness, which is Antaryamitvam. And our Upanishad says, Tasya Priyameva Chiraha, and finally, Brahma Pucham Pratishta. This entire Prema stands on the substratum of consciousness. And it cannot, you can't, in a normal day-to-day language, can you separate a life from a body? When I say I am alive, I know it only through my body. My body is expression of my life inside. Likewise, the expression of that consciousness called Krishna in me is love. So the love owes its life to consciousness. And we all know that the real love we have for anything in this world is because of the love we have of ourself. And that love we have for the self translates into the love for everything. Love for wife, love for children is love for our own self. And our own self is Bhagavan Sri Krishna. He tells that very beautifully to all those Yajnapatnis, saying that the fact that you love me is very clear. People who are intelligent about their own well-being would always do something which is pleasing to their own self, isn't it? And Bhagavan says to all the Yajnapatnis in the Bhagavatam, I think it's the 23rd chapter of 10th canto, he says, I am yourself. I am your very self. And that's why you have tremendous love towards me. So the love you have towards me and you running away from your house to give me all these varieties of food today is no surprise. That's intelligence. You didn't make a mistake. You did what any jiva, any soul ought to have done or ought to do or needs to do. Why? Because our very self is Krishna. The fact that we love others is because we love our own self, and that self is Krishna, highest truth in Bhagavata Dharma. So when you are worshipping Krishna, we are actually worshipping our innermost controller of our heart. When you offer flowers to Krishna, which pleases Krishna, it pleases us. And Prahalada Swami says, actually pleasing Krishna is like actually decorating your face before a mirror. When you decorate the face and make it more beautifully, the reflection in the mirror is also made beautiful, isn't it? Likewise, when we please Krishna, we please our inner soul. We please ourself with the space, ourself. That's the Vedanta. A little difficult, but I'm just telling you so that you may have this little thirst to learn more about this. And for Jignasa, as he said, let it be a seed for Jignasa for few of you who want to explore more about it. And then our Swamiji says, this is the Rupa, this is the Swarupa of my Antaryami Krishna, that Krishna who is shining as a blue light in my heart. This is what it is. And how do we realize him? ஒருமையில் உணரும் உன்னத பொருளே. And we can actually realize that Krishna in my heart, Antaryami Krishna, only in that oneness of Shanta Rasa, Shanta Prema, and Krishna will reveal himself as our own indweller in that oneness, Orumayil. When we truly cry out for his wonderful darshan, when we truly seek his darshan as our own inner self, it is Krishna who reveals it. And in that oneness, he will show it. And it is in the oneness of realization that he shows himself, the loftiest, the greatest of all the great, the loftiest of all the lofty. He is our Bhagavan right inside us. And then he says, which Bhagavan are we talking about? Muralidharan ullathil urayum nanmote. In the second episode, we saw this, the beauty of the term. Bhagavan is the pearl, the dark blue pearl in the heart of our beloved Guru Maharaj. So when we are doing the dhyana of Guru Maharaj, guess whom we are meditating? We can't meditate Bhagavan without meditating our Guru. The form of the Guru has Bhagavan Sri Krishna shining in the heart. Dhyana of a Guru is no different from dhyana of Krishna. That's the beauty of an Acharya in Bhagavata Dharma. You see? And that's what our Swamiji is saying, that in my heart, Urayum means constantly residing, our Krishna is residing in the heart. And our Bhagavan himself says, when I find such a great soul like these Acharya Purushas, I decide to reside in their heart, tie myself with the cord of devotion and never leave their heart. And our Bhagavata Dharma says, such an Acharya, such a great Bhagavata is the greatest of all Bhagavata. And the mark of a Bhagavata is not what he does, but what Bhagavan does to them. Bhagavan never wants to leave the little cave of their heart, and Bhagavan makes it as his permanent residence. Visrijati hridayam nayasya sakshat. Not even for a second Bhagavan wants to leave their heart. And the dust of their feet purifies the whole world. Bhagavan says, I actually aspire, I actually want the dust of the feet of such great Bhagavatottamas who purify this whole world. That is what is Bhagavan in the heart of a Mahatma. Shanta Rasa, Shanta Prema, interlaced with the rasa of a little nirvedam, a little bit of a divine sorrow because of me undeserving of your grace. You are so graceful, you are so compassionate, and I am so undeserving. And that gives rise to the sense of immense gratitude laced with the sorrow. Krishna, Ennayum, even me is Ennayum, also me is Ennayum. Apart from all these Puranic characters which we read in books, I am an example here. You actually tolerated Ajamila and me. You see, Ennayum, the Umkara. And you tolerated and you forbore, you respected and you thought about this Shatrabandhu, Ajamila, Jabali and Sishupala and me also, Ennayum. And Ennayum also means Ennaye, even me you tolerated. Your grace is infinite. So here in the Bhava of Shantarati, in Shanta Bhava, our Guru Maharaj is celebrating Krishna residing in the heart as a dark blue pearl in the heart cave or the heart oyster of our Swamiji, and he says this is the very soul of love. I think that's the right English translation. The soul and the life of love is the consciousness which is called Krishna in each of us, and that consciousness is eternally endowed with these qualities of compassion and beautiful form of a rain-bearing cloud you see out there, and it is ever resident in your heart and mind and rarely understood. To this day, people are debating, talking about, is consciousness biological or out of the biology? Is it eternal? Is it born? Is it something which comes or it comes to play when a body is formed? What is consciousness? Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidenam. They will never find out until they are blessed by a Mahatma who has realized, is what I think. I am not belittling the great work of scientists, fantastic work done by them. But then consciousness will elude all of them, says Krishna. You see? Only by love, only by Shanta Prema can one understand this wonderful shining of this dark blue pearl called consciousness in the oyster of the heart of our beloved Guru Maharaj. And it is understood in oneness. The moment you think I am a studier and consciousness is studied, consciousness will elude. The moment knowing it is being it, consciousness is caught. But 1 in a billion Mahatmas who descend can only realize that consciousness, is what our Swamiji says. And the good news is that consciousness which you are talking about, which I am talking about, is actually endowed with compassion and all the lovely qualities of love, etc. It is eternally, and it also has a lovely form. You seek the form, you get the lovely form, you get the shower of grace, you get the shower of compassion, also the gift of consciousness, realization. We want only the consciousness. I don't think there is a form. I don't think it has quality. It will elude forever. Bhakti is a way to mukti, which is realization of the consciousness within, which is Krishna within. And that's the beauty of this song. And then in the next episode, we will see a song of a different rasa. Now we are going into the terrain of pure love. And maybe we will explore Dasya Rasam. Dasya Bhavam in the next song. The actual flavor of Shanta Rasa is silence, the deep joy like a waveless ocean inside, and at times tears of joy remembering the compassion of Bhagavan, etc. And the signs of Dasya Bhava I will show you in the next episode of this series. Let's continue enjoying our most beloved Guru Maharaj's blessings in form of Sri Madhura Geetam. May our Guru Maharaj be ever pleased with us and bless us with more and more opportunities to drown in this bliss of Sri Madhura Geetam. Radhe Radhe. Jai Gurunath.